We are a family of 4. My parents, my younger sister, and I. Oh, by the way, recently we adopted a dog. That day, my parents said they were going out for a few days. A few days of couple time to celebrate their 20th wedding anniversary. They asked me to take care of the house and to look after my sister. I'm already 18 years old, so this was definitely not a problem for me. On the first day they left, my sister came to me and said she wanted to stay at a friend's house overnight. I actually like being alone. Besides, my sister had stayed at a friend's house before, and nothing had gone wrong, so I agreed. I helped her pack her things and took her there. Her friend's house wasn't far, just a block away. After making sure everything was alright, I went back home. It was really hot at that time. I sweated a lot on the way back and forth, so I took a shower. After washing up, I lay on the couch and watched a movie. Not long after I started, a loud bang suddenly came from the hallway. It scared me so much that I jumped off the couch. What was going on? I hurried over to check. It turned out that my bedroom door had been blown shut by the wind. The wind was indeed strong at that time, so I didn't think much of it. I put a slipper at the bottom of the door to prevent it from closing again due to the wind. But just a few minutes after returning to the living room, the bedroom door slammed shut again. I ran over in confusion and opened the door. I found the slipper I had placed at the bottom of the door, but it had somehow ended up in the far corner of the room. What was going on? What kind of supernatural force was that strong? I had no choice but to close the window in the room. I returned to the living room to watch the movie. After the movie ended, I remembered I hadn't fed the dog, so I went to the kitchen and grabbed a bag of dog food. I headed to my parents' room. Since the dog's bed is in my parents' room, our dog usually sleeps there. But at that moment, he wasn't in his bed. I searched the living room, in my sister's room, but couldn't find him anywhere. Finally, I found him in the bathroom. He was lying on the bathroom floor, covering his head, trembling and whimpering. What was wrong with him? He usually hides in the bathroom only during thunderstorms or when people set off fireworks outside. But it was quiet outside now. What could have scared him so much? I didn't pay much attention to him. I put down some dog food for him and left him to it. That night, I sat on my bed, scrolling through my social media and listening to music with my headphones. Suddenly, a huge roar erupted in my right ear, while my left ear was filled with incomprehensible murmurs. The left ear was filled with an incomprehensible murmur. The sounds persisted for 2 to 3 minutes, sending chills down my spine. However, since it was already quite late, I decided to take off my headphones, turn off my phone, and get ready for sleep. But unsurprisingly, I couldn't fall asleep no matter what. Just when I managed to calm down and started to feel a bit sleepy, I heard a girl's voice whispering in my ear, "Wake up, I'm here, I came to see you." The inexplicable voice startled me, and I sat up in bed. I noticed by chance that there seemed to be a person standing in the hallway outside my room. Since I had turned off the lights in my room, the hallway lights were still on. Upon closer inspection, it appeared to be a girl standing there. Her complexion was pale, with thick, long blonde hair. She was wearing a simple white dress and was barefoot. Even stranger, her face was completely blank, without eyes, no nose, and no mouth. Nothing at all. She stood still for a few minutes, before suddenly turning and drifting towards my sister's room. I was already terrified, but to understand what was happening, I summoned my courage and went to my sister's room. But there was no one inside. I checked every room in the house, and still found nothing. Our dog was happily sleeping in his bed. But that night, I couldn't sleep at all. I turned on all the lights and stayed in the living room the entire night. The next day, at noon, my sister texted me, saying she was going out for dinner with a friend's family. I didn't tell her about last night's incident, as I knew it would frighten her. Even when our parents returned, I didn't mention it to them. They would probably think I made it up to scare my sister. Months later, we moved into a bigger house, and after that, nothing like that ever happened again, but I still couldn't understand that incident. That day, I searched online for the apartment we used to live in. To my shock, I discovered that strange events had occurred there years ago. 4 residents had died in the same day. 1 woman was murdered, a teenager overdosed, and a mother and daughter died in a car accident. To this day, I still haven't figured out who that faceless woman I saw that night was, or why she appeared in our home. and why her face was blank. Were those bizarre death events related to her in any way?